The Taj Mahal, the love story that time could never erase. What if the most beautiful building in the world was created because one man could not accept losing the woman he loved? Imagine standing before a massive white marble monument as the first light of morning touches its walls. For a moment, it doesn't even look real. The marble seems to change color as the sunlight moves across it. The enormous dome rises silently above the gardens, while the monument reflects beautifully in the water. Everywhere you look, there's extraordinary detail. But the Taj Mahal is not simply a beautiful monument. Behind those walls is a story of love, grief, power, ambition, and loss. A story that began almost 400 years ago, and it begins with a woman named Mumtaz Mahal. In the early 17th century, the Mughal Empire was one of the most powerful empires in South Asia. Its future ruler was Prince Khurram, the man who would later become Emperor Shah Jahan. In 1612, Prince Khurram married Arjamand Banu Begum, who later became known as Mumtaz Mahal. Their relationship became one of the most famous royal partnerships in Mughal history, and she remained closely connected to his personal and political life. Mumtaz Mahal was not simply a queen living inside a palace. Historical records indicate that she accompanied Shah Jahan during several military campaigns and was deeply involved in his life. But their story would eventually end in tragedy. In 1631, while accompanying Shah Jahan during a military campaign, Mumtaz Mahal died after complications during childbirth. She was still a young woman, and her death became a devastating personal loss for Shah Jahan. Soon after her death, an extraordinary idea began to take shape. Shah Jahan would build a monument worthy of her memory. Not simply an ordinary tomb, but something magnificent that could survive generations and preserve her memory forever. Construction of the Taj Mahal began in the 1630s in Agra, beside the Yamuna River. Creating the complex was an enormous undertaking that required architects, engineers, stonecutters, calligraphers, artists, marble workers, and many other highly skilled craftsmen. The main mausoleum was constructed primarily from brilliant white marble brought from Makrana in Rajasthan. But the beauty of the Taj Mahal does not come from marble alone. It comes from the incredible craftsmanship carved and placed into that marble. Its walls contain delicate inlay work, with small pieces of colored stone carefully cut and fitted together to create flowers, leaves, vines, and other patterns. From a distance, some designs almost look painted, but they are actually made from stone. And then there is the architecture. The Taj Mahal was designed around balance and symmetry, with a massive central dome, for elegant minarets, reflecting pools, carefully arranged gardens, and buildings positioned to create visual harmony. The mosque and guest house stand on opposite sides of the main mausoleum, helping create a remarkable sense of balance. Every major element appears carefully planned, giving the entire complex the feeling that nothing was placed there by accident. Perhaps one of the most fascinating things about the Taj Mahal is something you cannot fully appreciate from a photograph. Its appearance changes throughout the day, depending on the light falling across its white marble surfaces. At sunrise, the marble can take on a soft, warm appearance. Under the bright daytime sun, it becomes brilliant white, while in the evening it can appear much softer and cooler. The monument seems to change with the sky around it. There is also a fascinating detail hidden in the calligraphy. The Quranic inscriptions around entrances were designed with perspective in mind, so the letters become larger as they rise higher on the building. From the ground, however, the writing appears remarkably consistent in size. This clever use of perspective shows just how carefully the architects and craftsmen thought about the experience of someone standing below the monument. The Taj Mahal also carries deep symbolic meaning. Its gardens reflect the traditional Persian concept of a paradise garden, with water channels dividing the landscape into geometric sections and creating a sense of peace and order. At the center stands a magnificent tomb where Mumtaz Mahal was laid to rest. But the story did not end there, because Shah Jahan's own life would soon take another dramatic turn. In 1658, Shah Jahan was removed from power by his son Aurangzeb and confined in Agra Fort. According to historical accounts, he spent the final years of his life there, while the Taj Mahal remained visible across the Yamuna River. There is something deeply symbolic about that chapter of his life. The emperor who had built such a magnificent monument for his beloved wife eventually spent his final years separated from his empire, with a monument associated with her memory still standing in the distance. When Shah Jahan died in 1666, he was buried inside the Taj Mahal beside Mumtaz Mahal. His burial transformed the monument from the tomb of beloved queen into the final resting place of both husband and wife. But the story of the Taj Mahal did not end with their deaths. Centuries passed, empires changed, political power shifted, and the world around the monument transformed. Yet the Taj Mahal continued to stand. Its white marble endured. Its gardens were maintained and restored, and its reputation continued to grow. Eventually, it became recognized not only as an extraordinary Mughal monument, but as one of the world's greatest architectural achievements. In 1983, the Taj Mahal was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today, people travel from around the world to stand before it, drawn by its history, architecture, beauty, and the powerful story behind its creation. But perhaps the reason the Taj Mahal continues to fascinate people is simpler than all of that. It represents something almost universal: lost memory and the human desire to create something beautiful from grief. Shah Jahan could not stop death, and he could not bring Mumtaz Mahal back. But he could create something that would carry her memory into the future. And nearly 4 centuries later, people around the world are still talking about her. The Taj Mahal is made of marble, but marble alone is not what made it immortal. Empires have disappeared, powerful rulers have been forgotten, and countless buildings have fallen into ruin. Yet this monument continues to capture the imagination of millions. So the next time you see a picture of the Taj Mahal, don't just look at the dome. Look beyond the marble, and remember the woman whose death inspired it, the emperor who built it, and the craftsman whose hands transformed stone into art. Behind one of the world's most famous monuments was a very human emotion: the pain of losing someone you never wanted to lose. Perhaps that is why the Taj Mahal still feels different from so many other monuments, because it doesn't simply tell us about an empire or a powerful ruler. It tells us about people, love, loss, and memory. And after almost 400 years, that story still speaks to the world. Some people leave this world, but the love we have for them can leave something behind that time cannot easily erase. The Taj Mahal is that reminder, a monument built in memory of one woman, and a masterpiece remembered by the entire world. Thanks for watching World Explorers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories from around the world.